If you've ever struggled with fear, doubt, or worry, and wondering what your true purpose was all about, then this podcast is for you. In this show, your host, Sylvia Worsham, will interview elite experts and ordinary people that have created extraordinary lives. So here's your host, Sylvia Worsham.
Hi, I'm Sylvia Worsham. Welcome to Release Doubt, Reveal Purpose. In this episode, we're going to be diving deep into what limiting beliefs are, where are they stored, how do they sabotage your joy, and why are they keeping you stuck in the circumstances you find yourself in. So let's dive deep first into the power of the two minds, because we really need to understand how our minds work in order to start working with them, and that way they can work for us, right? So you have the subconscious mind, and this is the most powerful of the two minds. It represents about 90% of all your activities on a daily basis. Okay, so think about that for a moment. That is pretty powerful. And this mind has no filter, meaning whatever you feed it on a daily basis through what you're watching on social media, what you're watching on TV, what you're listening to on the radio, all of it is coming inside of you, and it's forming or affirming those beliefs already inside of you. And it's your emotional mind, EQ mind. So this is where all your feelings are stored, all of your habits, your patterns of behavior, your beliefs, your significant emotional events, like when you got married, if you got divorced, if you changed careers and it traumatized you, all the trauma you encountered as a kid, if you encountered any, all of that is stored in that subconscious part of the mind. Then you have the conscious ability of your mind, and this only represents about 10% of your daily activities. And the conscious ability are your thoughts, and that's a very big part of your conscious ability. There's so many thoughts that we have on a daily basis. You'd be surprised. And your attitude resides here, and your actions reside here. But remember, it only represents about 10% of your total daily activities. The more powerful one, the one with no filter, the one that you really need to learn how to work with, is the subconscious part of the mind. So what are limiting beliefs? Limiting beliefs is a term that I came to know when I became a coach back in 2017 with the John Maxwell team. And limiting belief is a belief that limits your amazing capacity as a human being. And as you'll recall, when you're a little kid, you are fearless. I mean, like, you stand up and you run and you walk, and there's like nothing you can't do, right? Until the very first time you are about to fall, and then you have a very overprotective mom that comes rushing to your side and tries to catch you. Well, your subconscious mind is going to take that information and form a belief, unbeknownst to you. Because a lot of these beliefs are formed before the age of 7, if you can imagine that. And so I will use myself as an example. When I was a little kid, my two immigrant parents kind of modeled to me that in order to be successful in this country, you needed to achieve, and you needed to achieve at a very high level. And so I became a very high achiever as a result of that. And one of the beliefs that limited the amazing capacity I had as a human being was to believe that I wasn't enough unless I achieved. So guess what I did? I achieved and achieved and achieved, and I achieved perfectly. But when you do that continuously throughout your life, you're not thriving anymore. You're almost on the verge of like burnout, because there comes a point where no amount of activity or no amount of achievement is going to make you feel fulfilled, okay? Because we are searching for it on the outside, whereas really we need to search for it on the inside. The fulfillment and the peace and the sense of well-being resides within us. The code to our success resides within us. Let me say that again. The code to your success resides within you. So it's really important that you sit down and try to identify what these beliefs are. And so how do you start doing that, right? So how you start doing that is to sit down and in reflection, write 2 columns down. What are my good beliefs and what are my bad beliefs? And you have fear-based beliefs and you have loving beliefs. And I would make a big list. The other list I would make is of all the significant emotional events that you encountered in your life. Divorce, marriage, move to a new city when you're a little kid, an accident, with one of your siblings, like was my case. When I was 7 years old, we traveled to Mexico City. We went to the outskirts of Mexico City, and my little sister got involved in an accident. And my father, in his fear of losing my sister, turned to me and said, if your sister dies, it will be your fault. Well, that's a significant emotional event, right? And it formed a belief inside of me of, I don't trust myself to make the right decision in life, for example. And that I carried for the next 40 years. I didn't uncover that. I had no idea it was inside of me, right? So anytime I needed to make the right decision, I didn't trust myself. There was doubt as the feeling. The feeling doubt, anytime doubt showed up, that belief would kick into high gear and I would just want to control my circumstances. So what I started to do with my siblings after that accident was anytime they were in danger, I would try to control the circumstances by being a controlling sibling. See how that works? So you want to sit down and you want to make a list of all those significant emotional events that your mind can give you clues about. And then what you want to sit down is you want to also identify the feeling that your mind is giving you a clue about. So in my case, it was doubt. And doubt, I worked backwards. What were the thoughts inside of me that were promoting that doubt? And so what could be that belief? Because that belief is at the root of the thought. And the thought is promoting the feeling, and the feeling is promoting the reaction. And the reaction sometimes forms a habit. And then, of course, the habit turns into the results that we have in our life, right? So the feeling is really key here. You want to sit down with your feelings, your negative feelings. What are they? Doubt, resentment, anger, because below that are your belief systems that are driving these actions and reactions that you're having, and ultimately are responsible for the results you have in your life. Okay? So because of this significant emotional event that happened in my life, I did not have a good relationship with either my sister or brother. And it wasn't until I was 21 years old and after being in therapy for many years, that something my dad said triggered that belief to just come spilling out of me. And then I understood why I had been so angry with my dad and why I didn't have a good relationship with my brother or sister and why I was so controlling and why I needed to control circumstances every time doubt showed up in my life. Because when it happened, I doubted myself as a little kid, but I didn't know any better because my subconscious mind was there to not have any filter. It took it in as real. And then that belief formed, and I programmed my mind to respond in that manner from that emotional event. And anytime doubt showed up, once again, there was a habit I had formed around doubt, and then I would have certain results in life. I would control my circumstances any which way. It could manifest itself very differently in your life. So let's review again what we need to understand. We need to understand that the subconscious mind is the most powerful part of the mind, and it has no filter, and everything you feed it, it will take as truth. So to start shifting that, we can use the power of our imagination to start to imagine a different scenario and a different way of being. So once we identify that limiting belief, we can start to shift it over to the affirmative side. And one way, a very easy way that we do it in coaching, is to write affirmative statements and put them up on our mirror and do it every single day. And if you don't have the confidence initially, what I would do is I would find a role model that you have that already exemplifies this persona that you want to be, this identity that you want to create. Because ultimately what we're doing is we're creating the identity of a person that is confident, a person that is speaking to themselves in an affirmative fashion. So, for example, one of my role models was my late Aunt Patricia, and she was very confident. And so I would carry my body the way she carried her body, and I would say in a very confident voice, I am smart. I am enough. I achieve. I am someone that is a very capable businesswoman, an author, whatever it is that you want to shift that belief to. So once again, is understand the power of the two minds. Two is understand the feelings that are showing up for you, because there are tremendous clues to the belief systems that you carry inside of you. And to sit down and make a list of all the negative beliefs and the positive beliefs that you have in your life, and the positive and negative significant emotional events, because those are the things that will create these beliefs inside of you. I'm Sylvia Worsham. Thank you so much for tuning in to Release Doubt, Reveal Purpose. Please stay tuned to our next episode, which will be diving deeper into habits and how they can be transformed so that you can start thriving in life. Thank you.
So that's it for today's episode of Release Doubt, Reveal Purpose. Head on over to iTunes or wherever you listen and subscribe to the show. One lucky listener every single week who posts a review on iTunes will win a chance in the grand prize drawing to win a $25,000 private VIP day with Sylvia Worsham herself. Be sure to head on over to releasedoubtrevealpurposepodcast.com and pick up a free copy of Sylvia's gift and join us on the next episode.